Hey all, Late Night here. Rise of Iron release is just around the corner, and earlier today the Bungie Armory database was updated to show us a bunch of the upcoming weapons we're going to be seeing in the new expansion. Of course, I can't go through everything here. We're only going to cover a few select interesting weapon sets, so I'll throw a link to the Armory down in the video notes. Go check it out. First up, we're going to take a look at the Iron Banner weapons. These are the weapons that are going to drop after Iron Banner matches, or you should be able to purchase from Lord Saladin after gaining a certain amount of Iron Banner reputation. Like most Iron Banner weapons up to this point, it looks like most of the perks are pretty flexible, and so it's just going to be a randomized roll, so we're only going to go through the general archetypes of each of these different weapons. First up, we've got the auto rifle, the Unbent Tree. I know we've seen this a couple times in the various trailers, and people have mistaken it for a submachine gun due to its form factor and its extremely high rate of fire. And while it's technically an auto rifle here in Destiny, I can see it functioning much like the SMG archetype we see in a lot of other games. It's got an extremely high rate of fire, really low impact, not very stable, but a pretty quick reload, so it's kind of a close range, in-your-face type of auto rifle. Something that does look like it's going to make a pretty big difference is that variability in magazine size. Hopefully you get a perk that makes your magazine pretty big to make this a bit more effective. Next up, we've got the Clever Dragon. That's the Iron Banner Pulse Rifle. Looks like this one's going to be a high rate of fire, low impact pulse rifle as well. I'm guessing this could be pretty decent if you get some perks to up that stability and maybe up the range a little bit. To give you a good sense of comparison, the rate of fire of 77 and impact of 4 is exactly what the Grasp of Malak has, with a very slight increase on base stability over the Grasp, so could be pretty solid here. Next up, we've got the Distant Star. This is the scout rifle coming from the Iron Banner. Now, this is a faster rate of fire, lower impact type of scout rifle. For comparison, 42-38 are the same stats on rate of fire and impact that the Mida multi-tool has, but with a bit lower stability and slower reload. So I guess depending on the perks you get, it could be a pretty solid scout rifle. Next up, we've got the Lingering Song. That's the Iron Banner hand cannon. Now, this is a low rate of fire, really high impact hand cannon. We've only got two other hand cannons that have this 1594 combination, and that's the exotic First Curse and the legendary Ill Will from earlier in Year 2. Also, as a comparison, the First Curse and the Ill Will have a slightly higher range than the Lingering Song, but they also have a lower stability and lower reload speed. We'll see how those factor out. Next up, we've got the Branded Lord, the fusion rifle from the Iron Banner. This has a 34 charge rate and a 74 impact. This pretty much matches up with the previously released Split Shifter Pro fusion rifle. It's a mid-impact, mid-charge rate fusion rifle, doesn't really swing either way to the high or the low end. Also, in comparison to the Split Shifter Pro, it's got a slightly higher range and a slightly higher stability, so that could be nice, and then a very slight decrease on the reload speed. So if you've used the Split Shifter Pro, you're a fusion rifle fan, this may be a little bit of a step up from that one. Give it a try. For the Iron Banner shotgun, we've got the Proud Spire. This is a 35 rate of fire and a 40 impact, so that's a faster firing shotgun. I would say its stats best compared to the Amobius, that's the Titan specific shotgun, or the Stolen Will, that's the Taken Archon Priest Strike shotgun. Compared to those two, there are a few variances on range stability and reload, but I wouldn't say the values are large enough to make a huge difference. I'm going to say it's probably going to handle similar to those two weapons. Now, this is definitely kind of different from what we've seen in Iron Banner shotguns previously, but with the latest weapons rebalance, the faster rate of fire shotguns have gotten something of a buff, so this could really help it out. Next up, we've got the Binding Blaze. This is the sidearm for the Iron Banner. Unfortunately, I feel like stats for sidearms don't really give us a big indication of how it performs. At present, there is no sidearm with a rate of fire lower than 90, or an impact higher than 15. So the granularity and little changes in numbers on the sidearm stats just make it really hard to differentiate between them. I guess as far as stats go though, since rate of fire maximum is 100, this is a higher rate of fire, lower impact sidearm, for whatever that means. I'm guessing the perks on it are going to make the biggest difference for you. Next up, we've got the Laughing Heart. This is the Iron Banner sniper rifle. That's rate of fire 26 and impact 22. So this puts it in the range of a middling sniper rifle. If you want a comparison, 26-22 is what the Patience and Time has. It's what the Defiance of Yasmin, the King's Fall sniper rifle, had. So unfortunately, we're not getting another Aphrodite spear with a super high impact, but I guess a middling impact is going to be nice after getting a really low impact Wayloran's March in Year 2. I'm guessing it's going to be really dependent on the perks that you roll on this rifle, whether it's going to be a really useful weapon or something that you're just going to discard pretty quickly. Next up, we've got the Silver Dread. This is the machine gun for the Iron Banner. With a 77 rate of fire and a 37 impact, again, this is a middling roll as far as machine guns go. Just looking at raw numbers, I see a lot of parallels between this and the Zombie Apocalypse, so I'm expecting it to handle a lot like that weapon does. It does, however, compared to the Zombie Apocalypse, have a slightly higher range and stability and the same reload value, so I'm guessing, straight up stats-wise, it's a step up from the Zombie Apocalypse. So if you appreciate that middle rate of fire, middle impact archetype of machine gun, you're going to want to pick this up. Then we've got the Titanium Orchid. That's going to be the Iron Banner rocket launcher. Now the big stats that you want to pay attention to on a rocket launcher are going to be your blast radius, your velocity, and your reload speed. And on this weapon, that's going to be 68 blast radius, 82 velocity, and 72 reload speed. Looking for a parallel to compare this to, I found the Tormod's Bellows. That's the Year 2 Iron Banner rocket launcher with a blast radius of 68, a velocity of 83, and a reload of 65. So the Titanium Orchid takes a very small hit on velocity, but it ups its reload speed substantially. The magazine size is the same, so I'm going to consider it a fairly good step up from the Tormod's Bellows. And depending on the perks that you get, it could be a real solid rocket launcher. And that wraps it up for heavy weapons. Unfortunately, we're not getting an Iron Banner sword. It looks like they're keeping swords to a very niche type of weapon, so they're not going to go about adding a whole bunch for different activities such as Iron Banner or Trials of Osiris or the Raid or something like that. So that's kind of disappointing, but I guess that's pretty understandable, keeping swords fairly unique. Well, that wraps it up for the Iron Banner weapons that we're getting in Rise of Iron. Keep it tuned here for more Destiny content. I'll probably be going over some of those other weapons pretty soon. If you like this video, give me a like and a subscribe down below to keep this content coming. And give me a shout out in the comments. Which of these Iron Banners are you excited for and ready to play with? And I will catch you next time.